Well, we find ourselves in Manti, Utah.
Oh boy.
You're very familiar
Yes,
with...
my home area.
Yes, indeed. And we're here for the Fink reunion, the annual Fink reunion. And we're cruising Main Street.
Yes.
With a whole bunch of other hot rods and so on.
Oh my.
Because they're all here for the Fink reunion as well. Fink is, of course, this crazy cartoon character created by Ed Big Daddy Roth.
Right.
One of many critters and creatures that he created.
Yes.
And Fink, his best known creation, this rather pudgy rat that lives in a junkyard and builds choppers and hot rods. Now, what is the Fink reunion?
Oh boy.
Someone might say.
Yes.
Well, ever since the passing of Ed Big Daddy Roth, who was the creator of Fink and all kinds of hot rods, and originally a builder of chopper motorcycles, and
yes.
A wild and crazy guy. Anyway, he passed away some years ago, and his wife decided to continue the party.
Yes.
With the annual Fink reunion. I think this is what, the 17th?
17th.
The 17th Fink reunion.
I've been going about every year.
Yeah, I've missed a whole bunch because I couldn't get off work. But when they told me at work that, you know, you should retire. I don't want to retire. Tough.
Yeah.
So here I am retired. But the upside of that is I can now go to the Fink reunion.
That's right.
I've been going to the Fink reunion.
How we met.
That's how we met.
Fink reunion.
And that's a long and complicated story, but it's here on the channel if you want to go looking for it.
That's right.
Because it's fascinating, really. It's absolutely fascinating. But at any rate, you may notice that we're also in a rather loud car.
Yes.
The blue Mustang. Now, I brought the blue Mustang to the Fink reunion 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's when I first saw you on the channel.
And on the way home, it fell apart. I mean, it fell apart. I mean, there was duct tape holding things together.
I remember seeing it after that.
I've owned the car for some 30 years, and I just, and it had been raced to within an inch of its life before I ever owned it. So, well, it was falling apart. And it was finally, okay, now that you're retired, and the car is falling apart, let's put it together and take it to the Fink reunion. And 5 years later, look, it's all together.
All back together again.
It's spectacular and wonderful and everything, and it drives really well and everything. So we're here at the Fink reunion in the blue car. And this should be a good deal of fun. So check this out. The Fink reunion. Well, blue turned out really cool.
Boy, I'll bet it did.
Not so cool driving it down here. There's no air conditioning in this car.
Well, it has a 260 air conditioning.
A 260?
2 windows down and 60 miles an hour.
More like 90. No, it was just screaming. That new setup on there, this guy is just on fire in the figurative sense, not the literal sense. I did not bother to restore the keys.
No.
I like them left original. But it was sure a hit. Everybody loved seeing it. We had our friend Adam Pinales put the paint job on it, out in his driveway, no less. But it turned out great.
It sure did.
So the Fink reunion is a 3-day event, and Saturday is the car show in the Manti City Park.
Right.
And it's a good-sized park, so it can hold a lot of cars, which is good.
Give me 40 acres and I'll turn this rig around. It's the easiest way that I've found.
This is your classic 3-point turn. Those 3 points mean each side of the park.
That's right.
his power steering is the same setup as we've got on the blue Mustang.
Oh, and then turning on grass? Ouch.
Oh, it's difficult. This was the year of the purple paint job, for sure. Some of the neatest purple cars here. And here we have a Merc Relay.
And, yeah, Mercury with a Chevy body.
It's a Frankenstein. But look at this, a purple engine.
Oh my gosh, a block that's purple.
Yeah, this is the year of the purple stuff for sure. But wow,
What a
really
cool
neat.
car.
You just can't quite figure out what it is.
Well, it's a Mercury grill with a Chevy. That's
Yeah,
definitely
now
a
that's
Chevy.
definitely a Chevy. And this is one of our favorite cars in the whole
no
show.
kidding. That's when Ford hit it.
Oh, I tell you what, just gorgeous, gorgeous. I love the two-tone paint jobs they had back then. Fink likes it too.
Exactly.
A Crown Vic with bullet hubcaps.
Yes.
Just really, really awesome.
What in the world?
The Scottish engine, I guess. And this thing, here we go with the purple again, but look at this engine. They had a couple of drag cars over in the corner of the park here. And, well, the Mopar here really got my attention. This must be a rocket ship.
Gee, you light that thing up, you'd end up on the moon for sure.
Wow, just really cool. Purple and silver with tri-power.
Wow, an American Racing Wheels.
American Racing Wheels. It's a sharp, sharp ride, I'll tell you what. Definitely some cool, cool rides. I just love T-buckets.
The paint on that is just,
I think I got turned on to T-buckets by the Big T monogram.
Of course.
I built several of those and I just fell in love with T-buckets. I mean, what's not to love? Look at this one, clear rocker covers.
I know, I love that.
That is so cool. Remember car hops at drive-in restaurants?
Yes.
For me, it was Don Carlos Barbecue.
Really? We had A&W root beer.
Yeah, and this is A&W here on the platter.
Yes.
You know, Don Carlos became Arctic Circle.
Seriously?
Yeah, big chain. Oh no, it's a beetle infestation.
Oh, the Beetles are in town.
The Beetles are back. The Beetles are back. Maybe they need to. Maybe they should call an exterminator. But wow, these things are just really neat. I love them. Never have owned one or anything, but how fun is a VW?
Especially turned into a dune buggy.
Especially turned into a dune buggy. And there was one in here just like the one you used to have.
Yes.
And this is the Spider Mobile.
Yeah.
Spider is everywhere. This is kind of the opposite of the Beetles. The Beetles were running away when they saw this thing coming because this thing wants to devour the Beetles. But I love this Spider tucked down inside the scoop. That was really neat. That is just cute. That's quite a name for their car club.
No kidding.
I guess it fits. And this lady had constructed a stained glass ceiling for their car. How about that? Oh, and they broke that window.
And then knocked the Bondo
But
out
these
with a hammer,
these rat rods are just fun. Something that's meant to be left in sort of an originally ratty condition. Just fun. Some of these guys go to great lengths to paint the rust on, but most of them just find a rusty car and call it good enough.
A little clear coat.
Yeah, exactly. Wipe a little linseed oil on there to keep it from rusting anymore and call that good enough. They run really great. They just don't look like they would run very well. And this is taking it to some kind of extreme.
Oh my goodness.
I think most of this thing started off as a Studebaker. I'm not entirely sure, but if I'm recognizing the DNA, I think fundamentally this Hulk they found out in the desert was a Studebaker, and then they just added a bunch of stuff to it. Talk about road rash. In this case, more like a Second Amendment rash. Oh, and more drag cars.
What kind of an engine is this?
That thing is huge.
What?
That's like coffee cans for pistons. I don't know what engine that is, but it's just gigantic. I'll bet this thing turns one screaming quarter mile.
Yes.
And right next to it, this beautiful Camaro and wheelie bars on it, which
So it can move.
I don't think they're decorative.
No.
I think those are quite functional wheelie bars. Beautiful, beautiful setup, though. And if I've got it figured out right, this started off as a sedan, and then they turned it into kind of a woody wagon, I guess.
With Mustang taillights.
Oh, and here's the antique iron.
There it is.
Now, you know I have a love for antique iron. This is a Model T, and I used to have a Model T, and I loved the Model T. They're so fun to drive. I mean, there's just absolutely nothing like a Model T, and this is a really early Model T, which makes it even funner. It has a speedometer. That little gear there is an accessory speedometer, and notice that there are 3 pedals, none of which are a gas pedal.
No.
They're labeled C, R, and B. Clutch, reverse, and brake. Brake is obvious, but the brake works in the transmission. R for reverse, you hold the clutch halfway down and push that to the floor. You're now backing up. And then the clutch pedal, if you push it all the way to the floor, that's low gear. Let it all the way out, and that's high gear. If you don't like low, you've got high. Those are your 2 choices. And that handle is for starting the car. If you pull that all the way back, it locks the rear wheels and depresses the clutch halfway so you're in neutral so that you can crank start the engine without it running over you.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's clever. And up here we have the actual gas, the throttle, and the spark advance. Not where you would expect to find the throttle on the steering column.
Gee, I'd have to learn how to drive all over again.
Oh, it's a process learning how to drive a Model T. That's part of what makes it so fun.
Yeah.
And an early Dodge Brothers.
Oh, wow.
This was David's favorite car, the Dodge Brothers, and this is just 1 year newer than his.
Oh,
same
cool.
idea.
Look at
I love
that.
their logo.
I do too.
I had a Dodge Brothers.
You did?
Yeah, well, you know me. If it drives, I've tried to get one of them at some point in time. And this is the Roth booth where they sell the t-shirts that Ed used to design, complete with Rat Fink.
Rat Fink's a little Cupid.
Now, over at the Roth estate and the Ed Roth Museum and whatnot, they had a lot of artists and dealers selling their wares. Look at this eagle.
That is so cool.
It took me a second to realize it's all made out of knives, forks, and spoons.
Yes.
I want to build one.
Let's do it.
I wanted to buy this one, but at $1,500 it was just a little tiny bit steep, but I was tempted. That is just amazing. This guy had a lot of other really, really fun items made out of car parts and just found art, including this neat guitar.
Wow. Heavy metal.
Heavy metal. Now, at a certain point in time, it becomes necessary to get the group photo of all the Rat Fink artists, which is sort of like trying to herd cats.
Or kindergartners.
Or same thing.
Space them out.
Eileen's looking a little frustrated.
Oh, it's just like having kids.
It is.
Thing. It's a thing. You see that?
Look at that thing.
Oh, I know that thing. It's some type of thing, but it's...
The biggest problem is once you get everybody together, half of them have already wandered off again, and then you got to round them up again. But eventually they got the picture. But over here at the museum, you can buy just about anything with a Rat Fink theme to it.
That's right.
Just fun stuff over here, and everything's for sale. And of course, it would not be the Rat Fink reunion if they weren't selling Rat Fink t-shirts.
These are my favorite.
Absolutely. And this is Coop. And every year, Coop designs a new t-shirt for the reunion.
Also, we got a few minutes, less than 10 minutes to get a t-shirt done by the west end of the museum.
Originally, Ed started painting on leather jackets, you know, for the bikers and all that sort of thing. Moved on to sweatshirts because leather jackets are expensive. And then eventually moved on to t-shirts just so he could mass produce them, and even took to silk screening them rather than hand drawing each one so he could really knock them out fast. When we were kids, that was the thing. A lot of parents wouldn't let you get one.
No, I don't think my parents would have let me got one.
The monsters and everything.
Yeah,
they
they
said,
didn't really
"Oh,
care for it too
yuck!"
much.
But
Yeah.
man, I wanted a Rat Fink t-shirt so bad when I was like 8.
Yeah,
It was just the cool thing.
it
to
was
have.
the cool thing to have. It was.
Of course, now we have a whole bunch of Rat
That's
Fink
right.
t-shirts.
Now we've got them aplenty.
Yeah, and nobody thinks it's weird. Well, they think we're kind of weird, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Now, one thing about the Rat Fink reunion is the awards are different than the usual trophy.
They sure are.
All the artists make their own personal trophies for the cars, and they have them on display in here, and they are definitely not your usual car show trophy.
No.
But the entire building here is full of original Ed Roth Rat Finks and cars and just fun stuff. This is the Ed Roth Museum, complete with a little tiny Ed Roth.
Oh dear.
And these are the new acquisitions for this year. This barbecue was just, what can you say?
Amazing.
Amazing?
Amazing.
The guy that built this, he built it in the Netherlands. He's from the Netherlands, and he builds these custom barbecues, and he built a Rat Fink. This is his name. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it because I'll butcher it. But he lives there in the Netherlands, and he was going to make this and bring it to the Rat Fink reunion. But our illustrious State Department decided at length that they would not give him a visa to come to the United States.
That's not right.
It's not right. He was arrested back in the 70s for growing marijuana in Amsterdam.
Oh, gee.
That's like giving somebody a ticket for speeding at the Indianapolis 500. But now he can't come to the United States because he grew some pot back in the 70s in Amsterdam.
Gee.
Good grief. But what a neat barbecue he built.
What an artist.
Even if he wasn't here to show it off, he was here in thought and mind and internet.
Yes.
Check out the grill down here. It's got a lower grill and an upper grill. And I'd like to see this thing in actual operation.
I would too.
This is going to be fun. I'm assuming that next year they'll be actually using it for
Maybe.
barbecuing. Hair?
Whoa.
Well, Rat, maybe he needs to shave. I don't know. And this was a sculpture that somebody made out of car parts and stuff. I think it's all made out of sheet metal and then painted over. It's really, really amazing. And Eileen got this year to add to the museum here.
That is awesome.
That is just amazing. And this is the California Cruiser.
Oh dear, there it is.
There it is. This is attributed as being the very first three-wheel V8 trike that Ed built. But Ed said that he actually built one before this one that he built out of a Mustang, of all things.
Wow.
And, well, he explained the whole situation, how he came up with it, and fortunately, I was rolling a camera at the time.
Nice.
So we'll let him explain.
What I can remember is that when I broke into the three-wheelers, I was riding the freeway one day, and I thought I was really going fast, and up comes a 67 Mustang right beside me, and he looks at my bike, and he steps on the accelerator and makes it out of there. And I thought, this is the end for me of this kind of slow stuff. I'm going to build me something really hot and fast. So I went home and got me a 65 Mustang, took the engine and transmission out, made a narrow rear end, put a Holley fork on it, and I drove it around, and that was a hot machine. But none of the magazine guys would ever do anything with pictures. They wouldn't even take pictures. They never even talked about them. And today, when there's a lot of these trick bikes around, you never see them in a magazine because they just don't want to talk about them. I don't know what it is. I think that they can't make up their mind if it's a bike or a car or what it is. But they wouldn't allow me into the Street Rod Nationals when I went to St. Paul last year. So we have a long fight with this three-wheeler thing. But I enjoy it so much. I don't care if they never publish a picture of it or make a model or anything.
So it's definitely a different breed of person that's willing to put that much horsepower in a bike and then ride it around. But this was the first really successful bike that Ed produced, and after he got this together, he said it was far too unstable and dangerous to try to offer it as a kit. He tried to work the bugs out of it, and bit by bit by bit, he came up with this. This was the actual kit. It's based on a Volkswagen.
Yes.
So it's got a Volkswagen engine and rear end, much more stable, much more safe than the original California Cruiser.
I always wanted one of these, and I wanted the Cox Shaker trike.
Yeah, the toy version.
Exactly, but it had a real motor.
Had a real gas motor and just would be fun. And actually now you have one.
I have one, I just need to remodel it.
Oh, and this was another one that Ed developed. It's built out of a Honda 750.
Oh, gee.
Which is kind of what you and I used to ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, very similar. Where ours weren't converted into trikes, however.
No.
So they did offer one model of one of his trikes. That's cool. And over here in Ed's shop, Eileen hauled out one of the old original California Cruiser fiberglass bodies and put that on display.
Oh, isn't that cool?
Isn't that neat that one of them's still around? Well, they say that a clean desk is a sign of a sick mind, so Ed must have been very healthy.
Yes, looks normal to me.
That looks like a normal workbench to me, but think of all the cool stuff he built here. And when he needed to take down a phone number, he just wrote it on the wall.
Well, what else do you do?
What else do you do? But if you look closely here, you can find both Von Dutch's phone number and the email address of David Evans at Novell Software.
Oh my gosh.
Now this is fun. Eileen and Cody were taking this photograph for the Rat Bastards website, so we snuck in from behind and photobombed.
Photobomb.
Turned out good. I guess Rat Fink isn't the only sneaky little devil around here. He is awfully cute, though.
He is.
He's adorable.
He is.
And every year they set out stuff for the Rat Fink artists to sign, and then that stuff goes into the museum. And, well, we got a hold of these Rat Fink letters here.
Yes.
And, well, they shouldn't leave them lying around with pens if they didn't want people to draw all over them. That's about all I can say about that. So we had some fun with it. But all the artists were signing these things because, well, that's what you're supposed to do, is have some fun writing on these things and then stick them into the museum. I'm afraid we ran these pens out of ink, though.
We sure did.
Oops. But there were other pens around, so everybody still got a chance to sign their stuff.
Yes. Rat Fink just wants to add a reminder on how to subscribe.
Absolutely. Here's one that everybody actually got a chance to sign. Well, back at the car show, we stumbled across this nifty vet. Holy cow, Stingray.
That is my favorite.
Oh, I love a Stingray, and this is my favorite year. Just so neat. 427, of course, so even better, even better. What an absolutely beautiful and amazing car. The problem is I don't think we'd be able to climb in it.
No, they're a trick to get in and out of.
They're a trick. That might have been God's way of telling us it's time to pack it in.
Yeah, the thunder and lightning just keeps happening.
Yeah, so we all headed over to Main Street to cruise the Vard.
That's right.
And that was a good deal of fun, too. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, wasn't it though?
What a great Fink reunion, in part because Blue won an award.
Yeah.
Holy cow, you know, I knew it was beautiful and wonderful and everything, but
Oh, people fell in love with it.
it got the most attention of, you know, not of any car, but one of the most attention-getting cars at the reunion, and that was very satisfying after all the work that's gone into it. So that was really neat. And we're going to take the award now, and we're going to give it a place of prominence
Yes.
in Garage Mahal.
It's about time.
It's about time. It's going over the pinball and on top of a jukebox.
There you go.
So that's about as prominent of a prominence place that you can get a hold of.
Yeah.
But this is fun. It's always fun to come to the Rat Fink
It
reunion.
is.
And it's even fun just to come to Manti
It is.
with the old houses and it's just a beautiful, beautiful part of the world, as you know, because you grew up here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Historic area right around there, yes.
So that makes it fun to come to because for you it's coming home.
Coming home to visit. Yeah. That was one of the Rat Fink mottos, Rat Fink coming home.
Coming
That's
home.
me.
Absolutely.
Coming home.
Kind of a different set of circumstances that Rat Fink, of all people, was from Manti.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ed Big Daddy Roth
Just
from
like-
Manti, Utah.
Yeah.
The world's most notorious biker and hot rodder.
Yes.
From anyway. Well, if you haven't been over to the channel, do pop on over to the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, of course you want to subscribe.
Yes.
And the easy way to do both, are we ready?
Yes.
Blue button. Right there, blue button will make you a subscriber. Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And we will see you here on Tuesday while we play with toys.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see you.
We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.